Power creep is probably one of the most interesting dynamics when it comes to the United Federation of Planets, and indeed Starfleet. Every enemy the Federation encounters, engineers that are able to turn rocks into replicators, are able to either find a counter or reverse engineer the very technology that is being used against them. Engineers turn it into a Federation product and begin to install it into their own ships. It's a more benign assimilation process, if you will. This is entirely apparent when the Starfleet Corps of Engineers got their hands on a Breen weapon and produced a counter for said weapon within weeks of their allies giving them that piece of technology, if they didn't do it in days. The only thing that has ever stopped the Federation is agreements. Well, supposedly stopped them at least, like that of the Treaty of Algernon. And if it's not agreements, then either Starfleet can't get a hold of the tech or the engineers can't fathom how to utilize it. Now, of course, this assumes my Section 31 theory about, well, the clandestine entity having Borg technology isn't right, so we'll take that into account as I go forward. Imagine, if you will, the awesome power of the Federation when it begins to utilize Borg tech. As I've theorized before, Starfleet will ultimately come into parity with the Borg somewhere around the late 24th or early 25th century. No longer would we have battles like that of Sector 001, where basically the Federation has to drown the Borg in their own blood. This leads to a very, very powerful Starfleet, but also has some possibly horrifying conclusions.
The Stargazer is the first of a new class of ship. Utilizes components derived from research on the Borg Cube artifact.
We know that Starfleet begins to construct vessels that either use or are based on Borg technology, and, well, that's where we see the Sagan class. This new type of ship features a unique physical configuration that is reminiscent of the past, but not consistent with general Starfleet design. Like the Radiant and the Constellation class before it, the primary hull would not be connected to a secondary hull via a neck, but it would be streamlined and they would be attached together. There would also be 4 nacelles connected via pylons to the main body. Sadly, beyond that, we don't have too much information on the ship, but there is some that we do know. It is derived and constructed of technology analyzed after the Battle of Sector 001, the return of the Enterprise E from the past, as well as the Borg Cube, also known as the Artifact. Possibly one of the most powerful ships to be fielded by Starfleet in the early 25th century, if everyone's being honest. The vessel sports a 360-degree arc where it can fire phaser arrays, along with shielding that is both standard and multiphasic. We don't know what kind of ordnance the vessel has in regards to photons, quantum torpedoes, nor tricobalts, but I don't think many enemies want to find out the hard way. Given the 4 nacelles, we can somewhat speculate on the propulsion abilities of the vessel. While it is possible that these nacelles somehow increase speed, it's more likely, based on the design of the Prometheus, that this ship is able to travel much longer distances than other contemporary equivalents. The reason for this is that it would switch between 2 nacelles. Ultimately, the warp drive only uses 2 nacelles, but now they have 2 so that it doesn't break down on wear. The interior of the vessel is similar to that of the Enterprise D, except it's made with reflective dark materials as if Starfleet engineers were going through some kind of emo phase. This does make sense though, as it appears to be more a vessel ready to fight than one designed as a luxury liner and will be the love boat. It's just unfortunate we're going from one extreme to the other. The main bridge was located on Deck 1 and maintained a layout most are used to, with the captain and XO in the middle. Tactical would be stage left of the captain, science stage right of the captain, and the various other departments surrounding him. Like before, these stations would be connected to the walls of the bridge, making them easy to access and be seen by both the captain and their crew. Like we've seen with the Galaxy class, the observation lounge would be located behind the bridge and appears similar to other designs, especially the Sovereign. It featured a large window facing the rear of the vessel, as noted, showing the top of the 2 nacelles. There is a large display monitor placed along the side wall so that everyone can see it, along with cases where memorabilia can be placed by the captain, because every captain needs an ego. We are also aware of a hangar bay that exists on Deck 7, though how large it is or what subcraft exist in it is still unknown. Now don't be fooled, this is a powerful ship with a powerful arsenal. And one major weakness. By reverse engineering Borg technology, Starfleet is all but giving the Federation to the collective. The Borg are an adversary that the Federation can now beat one-on-one, true, but they are still very, very dangerous. And something Starfleet always does is underestimate a dangerous enemy.
information's in the ship. She's getting complete access, weapons, navigation, everything.
She's assimilating the ship.
Not just to our ship, the entire fleet. She's using us as a hub. She's getting the command codes for all our ships.